Hi everyone, it's me Huggles again. Everything's been kind of chaotic. Everything is just kind of all over the place lately, so it is what it is. Trying to get used to new schedules, which is sort of working. And I may get back into making websites. I'm not sure. I miss it, but it's been so long ago, and with memory issues and stuff, it's kind of it'd be one of those things where it's another challenge where we start again. Anyway, um, I woke up this morning, and in the past few months, I had noticed quite a few things had changed, and their changing in my life made such a really big issue for me. Um, I feel like I've lost some things, I guess you would say, or that I've missed out on a few things that no fault of anybody's. It just seems like my life was going in one direction and others are going into another direction in another realm. And I do feel like I have had my own struggles, my own life with my son, and I feel like that's the one thing that kind of keeps me balanced and keeps me going forward with him. And I think that's also a piece of what kind of keeps me from being able to, I guess you would say, partake in a lot of my friends and family's lives and their struggles and the things that they're going through. And with such a big situation going on, it's kind of a lot for them, as much as I know it's got to be a lot for me, because it is a lot for me. Um, so I woke up this morning and I rarely delve into my past thought wise. And I rarely go back enough to really think about what it was like when I was little, the people in my life that were there when I was little, um, and the struggles. Because by no means has my life been even remotely easy. And if people really knew the intensity in which I've started to where I am today, you would still know that it's the struggle. And hopefully, once we move and get out of here, um, out of state, starting again, not having to worry, it'll be like a weight that's lifted off of me. But at the same time, it's going to be one of those things where you think about it, but it's like sometimes you have to let people go. And sometimes you have to let them let you go. And that's a hard thing. My aunt once said to me, as a kid, and it was very difficult to understand. I wasn't exactly the most immature child. I grew up way too fast. I knew way too much, way too fast. Um, I was wiser than I should have been. But when she said the words, sometimes love isn't enough, didn't quite get what she meant at the time. And as I got older and have been through a lot of very terrible things, I realized she's had such a very valid point and had such a big point in her life that she knew that the situation she was in was just going to remain toxic, even though I loved both sides. I couldn't split. And it really hurt knowing only one side still stayed and cared. Not saying she didn't care, but when a family splits like that, you don't know what's on the other side. Are they going to hate you? Are they going to judge you? Are they going to say things about you? So it was really hard. I know I'm not the only one in my family that felt that way. But this morning I woke up and I rarely go back to different things and to different days, and I rarely let things bother me. I do have some social media things. I try not to let their hostilities or aggressions um, make me in a bad mood, because everybody's entitled to their own opinion of things. And if they don't want to be your friend or they do want to be your friend, that's up to them. So fighting about little things right now just seems so deflating. So when I woke up, I went out, and it was really odd the whole morning. I had woke up very early, unfortunately, but I'll read you something that I wrote. And this is a true statement as to how I felt and what's really going on now. I woke today and I looked out across the deck towards the flag that was silent. I remember so many times, so many years, I was there for others, fixing their problems, a shoulder to lean on, a smile, a laugh, or just them knowing I loved them unconditionally. It meant a lot to those in the time that they needed it. I have lost so many along the way. I felt a bit like that flag. The wind was out of my sail, somber and quiet. I wonder now if in life, I look back so few times. I know deep down it's because you can't drive in reverse. And that the one person that I still focus my main energy and time with is the one that needs it the most. The one that needs me still every day. I'm his rock, he's my rock. We keep each other stable. Parents may think that at the age of 18, all the problems as a parent are over, and that their child's fine because they're adults and can make it on their own. And that's not always the case. My son has been my simpatico in life ever since he was born. We hold each other up and push each other when we are both stubborn. And even though we are 2.5 hours away, it's hurting a lot. But it doesn't stop the need for each other that's there. The two of us have health issues, and I find myself arguing with a 16, 17, 18, and now 19-year-old son who is weak from not having eaten and low blood sugars, who wakes tired because he's anemic and hypothyroidism is kicking him down, who's confused and upset because he feels empty of emotions after so many things went wrong in such a short period of time and traumatized him. To tell him he's depressed and should never have come off of his meds. And yes, he has feelings, even if he doesn't see it. The "I told you so's" have got to stop. And it has to stop to begging, please go see the doctor, Tim. Even if we both deny that we're stubborn. I know my life's been stuck focusing on keeping him and I both stable, and I've lost people along the way. Some just don't know what I deal with daily or my struggles that I have. Others choose to be less than kind and want to push you to the point you release the ties that hold you to them and know the friendship was nice, but had to go for you to be at peace. So as I stepped out and I saw the flag, feeling as gustless as I was, I felt something touch my heart as warm as the sun on a sunny summer day that had not yet risen and was frost-laid deck panels. I heard the small warm voice in my heart say, as long as you have me, you're never alone. You will lose some along the way, but it doesn't matter, for everything has a purpose. And I said, thank you, God, for keeping my focus on you and the future. And let those lost on the way know a piece of my heart is with them, or they wouldn't have been allowed in my life in the first place. I can't tell you how absolutely true that is. Everybody that I've let into my life, and it's hard getting me to open up to new people. And when people hurt me, I seem to be patient to a point. And at some point, I have to walk away, depending upon how bad it gets. But I think most people don't know that because I am so sheltered of myself, and there's a wall that is there. I guess you would say sometimes in life we have these walls that go up and they start small. And this is kind of something I had said to somebody once. I feel like when I build a garden and let's say you're the person that's hurting my feelings or constantly doing things to me to hurt my feelings. I said, I build a garden and it's beautiful. It's exactly the way I want. And the flowers and the things are starting to come up and bud. And it's starting to be what I wanted it to be. And you come along and you mow it over. So this time I build a little bit of a fence. And I build my garden again and I start again and I start planting. And this time I feel confident that my garden's going to be okay. All the work I did is going to be fine. And then they come and mow it over again. So this time it gets to the point where you build a 6-foot garden. You have a 6-foot fence around your entire garden. And you build it thinking this time there absolutely positively is no way they can ruin it. And they push it down and mow right over it again. And when that happens, you build a wall that is a brick wall. And it goes from something where it's easy for people to have once been let into your life very easily, or to know what you can tell certain people, but you can't tell others. You can't trust certain people with things in your life because they'll hurt you with it later. So when you know these things about somebody and you don't open that door for somebody, eventually the pain of it all just raises that wall so high that even you don't understand how to break it down to let somebody else who might be a good person in. And I found that time and time again. I found myself not wanting to deal with people who I know in the long run will more than likely not be the type of person I personally can keep myself from hurting from. And when I see the pain that they cause in others, I know that even if we did get a friendship, they do the same thing to me, and that's unappealing. So that wall stays up. Is it fair to new people in my life? Absolutely not. It really isn't. Is it fair to me as a human being? No. I have tried my hardest, and I'm no saint, but I have tried. There's times that I have let them get to me and say things I wish I had said, or let them get underneath my skin instead of smiling and keeping on going. Letting them make me cry and fear things that I should never have had to. This is part of why leaving here is so necessary, because their influence here and in the areas in which we live is too vast for anybody to live at peace or in comfort. To make any friends, it's impossible. And the reason it's impossible is because their reach is too far and their comments are too many, and they know too much and they spread whatever they want. Is it okay for them? No. But they do just enough to know that they're safe and that they can do what they want and say what they want and just ruin other people's lives. Now, I was standing in the line of a local dollar store, and this was before Christmas. And I saw the lady who was checking out, probably made $9 an hour, $10 an hour. Lower income job, checking things through and tossing them in a bag, emotionless with her face red. And you can tell she had been crying and crying for a long time. Somebody came in and said some things, and the tears started to flow even more. And as I'm starting to check out, the lady comes back and says, "By the way, they said you could have prevented this." She says, "I gotta get out of here. I gotta get the hell out of here. After Christmas, I'm getting the F out of here, and I am never coming back." And when I assumed to be her sister after I realized the resemblance, she said, "You take me too." That's basically how I've felt for a long time now. And that's how so many now feel it. I said to her, I know how you feel. And she looked around to make sure there was nobody maybe that knew somebody who would go back and say something to him, make it worse. And she said, I know, we're not the only ones. There are a lot of us. And it was sad. I grew up in a place that was scenically beauty, seemed kind of untouched from the rest of the world. But it also has its predators. And I don't mean the wolves and the cornfields that are looking at night. And I don't mean the coyotes that run wild, also in the night looking for food. Not talking about snakes or even deadly spiders. I'm talking about people that use their lips to guide their way to hurt somebody else, and for no reason. Somewhere along the line, it got to where instead of causing more problems, they didn't want to stand up for the people they love. And in doing so, they lose them. They walk away and they go away and they never come back because they know that this is a place where vipers are, but they're human vipers. And they take your life from being something peaceful. We can go outside and take a walk. And if you see a neighbor, you can say hi without being said that you're having an affair with them. Rumors, they destroy lives. People's negativity destroys lives. Lies destroy people's lives. Intentional lies and hatred burns people up inside, so much so they want to hurt anybody that is even close to them. And I can't understand why. I don't ever remember walking into somebody that I ever felt, I really wish that that person would just be gone. I never, no matter how bad it was. But the fact of the matter is, no matter where you are, you're not alone. It's good to have dreams, but it's even better when you know the difference between what is a dream and what is reality. And to start living a reality through the dreams in which you wanted. Now, my son and I are in over a year going to be moving to Florida. Honestly, I can't wait. I can't wait to get out of here. Sun all the time, warm all the time. I love green all the time. I never was a fan of winter anyway. Would I have ever thought that I would have left the place in which I was, area in which I was born in? No. I really truly grew up in a place where drugs were not that prevalent. Kids could walk down the street and you didn't have to worry about your child. It's all changed. And people changed it. So living for the right reasons, doing things for the right reasons in life, sometimes it takes a little bit of strength, a lot of faith, and a lot of love for yourself, for your family, and for God above who can make it happen. So without these things, none of us would make it further. We survive so many things every day that we don't even realize we've survived. And this virus has made such an impact on humanity. I wish I knew how to make everything better. I only know that praying to God above is what's going to get me through. It's going to get my son through and get us to Florida and get us in a place where we're good, because I can't work and he is going to be working. So we're going to need something that's going to be able to help us. And whatever it is, it's because of God above. And it's so funny because when you're at your lowest and you are at your rock bottom, you realize how high and how tall and how high to the sky you need to look up to instead of looking down at your feet and crying. So start looking up instead of looking down. God isn't at your feet. He's up there watching us, knowing what we're doing and knowing how to get us where we need to go. He knows that one thing that can break through everything. You just need to know how to ask and to really ask in truth and ask in love. So before the fluff balls behind me go crazy because they want their nightly dinner, I'm going to say goodbye for right now. And I'm going to say just definitely keep your hearts open to new things that you wouldn't have expected, because sometimes that's the direction in which God leads us in. So, instructor. Goodbye, everyone.